Hello Stampers, thanks for purchasing my March 2026 kits in the mail. It features the Pet Love dies and stamp set. So your kits will feature all of the die cuts shown on these samples. You will need to provide the stamp set and inks and adhesives to complete your kits according to my samples. So I'm going to show you real quick. Pet Love is what you hopefully purchased from me. These are all the dies that I used to create your kits. The set has 2 additional dies I didn't use. Just wanted to share that with you. You'll need to find your paper trimmer. First, we got to cut our DSP in half. So let's get started. Let's assemble the puppy kit first. And I'm going to be taking adhesive strips from my stash so that I have more strips to share with you. So that's what that's all about. But your kit will feature a strip of these neutral matte dots in your kit. I'm not going to use off that strip so I can share it with somebody. And then grab your pattern paper. Set everything else aside. You're just going to cut it in half. So right now it measures 4 inch by 5 1/4. We're going to cut it into 2 equal long pieces. And so line it up to the 2 inch mark and slice. And why don't I, just because I'm working on space here, space limitations, I'm going to grab the paper from the alright, so we've got those 2 pieces and our sample card, so you can see that I just flipped it over. Gotta show our gorgeous designer series paper. All right, we've got a pecan pie card base. And then it doesn't really matter which pattern you want up. I actually want this pattern. I don't really care for that darker strip right there. So that's the side I want adhesive on. This is the side I want adhesive on. And then I'm just going to eyeball as I put them over the card front. Top to bottom, left to right. Do a little zhuzhin if you need to. There. Actually, if you open it up, that looks fine. Okay, press them together. All right, next, going to be the strip of this ribbon. Now, I couldn't tell you where this ribbon is from. All the tans and neutrals and neutral tans I purchased, and they just kind of build up in my stash until I can use them. I love Shabby Chic and I love Crumb Cake tones. There's that. All right. You will have received in your kit some Crumb Cake, a strip, so you can do a sentiment at the top. So I think the strip that you got would be this. This is the one I'm actually stamping on. What else do we have that we can kind of assemble here? Your gorgeous grape strip with your paws. So let's just since it's hard to get a tape runner on this strip, we're just going to use little pieces of glue. And then let's see. Oh, I just used some glue to attach that down. Most likely a piece of tear-in tape. Okay, now this comes from the new pattern paper pack. I'm pretty sure it's called wood grain, and use some tear and tape on that too. It's a little thinner than the tape runner. And if I have time at the end, I'll show you the new pattern paper pack that this comes in. It's printed a little differently. I had to look at all of it to see what was going on. All right, this is going to be next. That, yeah, just get the liquid glue here. And then the kerchief part. Now I tried to include the dots that were cut out with the die cut so you could have fun with them. I think I only used 3 of them on the front, but maybe we'll put some in the inside. All right, and then the little knot. Kind of offset that one a little bit so we can see a little bit of that Highland Heather off of that. Okay, and then the dog bone. Well, you can see I used a scrap on my kit. I do that a lot. If I don't stamp something correctly, it'll just go in the scrap basket and I'll use it somewhere else on the other side. Okay, I've got 3 little dots right there. Dot, dot, not a lot. There's a lot there. And this one. See if I can get some of that off of there. It does really squish out, especially in these small areas, the liquid glue. Okay, and then, oh, we've got our embellishments. I've got 3 tan ones here and a whitish one there. Let's see what I got left of my strips here. I think the tannish ones, yeah, there's a off-white one and a white one, and I used the off-white one there. So, since I'm out of off-white ones, we're just not going to worry about it. I think the white is a little too stark in this one, so we're just going to use a tan one. Okay, and then the inside, let's move some of that stuff out of the way. Gorgeous grape ink pad. Already got my stamps on the blocks. So I did 4 paw prints up. And then always there. And then you're a possum pet sitter. Let's flip that over. There, that's better. Okay, I'm gonna shut this up. We are getting a new style of ink pads that are being introduced with the 2026-2027 in colors, which will be introduced in May for customers to purchase. And if you're a demonstrator, you'll probably be able to pre-order them. Usually the ink colors we can pre-order. Cut that off a little bit there. Okay. got the right side. And then the sentiment just gets tucked. And since that's a small little thing, just going to use a tiny bit of glue. There, so there's the dog one. Cute, right? With the off-white embellishment there and with the same tan one is down there. Okay, so I'm going to clear this stuff off and we're going to get to the cat kit. Bringing stuff on back. As I was clearing off, I realized I did not put the hearts on the inside. So this is just a heart charm. You could actually hang it off your collar if you want. And then, where is my heart? Purple heart. Found it. I should have just put the ink or the glue on the paper. Something that small. A glue dot goes right on the paper. Okay, so there, that one's done. Now I'm going to finish cleaning off and we will get to the cat card. Okay, your cat kit actually features 2 pattern papers because the other side was not a contrasting pattern like the dog print was from the Need for Tweed Designer Series paper. So I selected one from the Valentine's kit and then the basket grayish one. So you're going to have extra pattern paper to use however you want. Or maybe you don't want to cut the pattern paper in half, just moving it to the 2-inch mark, making a cut. Again, I'm going to use embellishments off a strip I've been working on, so save this full strip for somebody else. Yeah, so you're going to have 2 that you're going to set aside. Got a few extra here. And maybe let's do the stamping first. I cleaned off the paw print stamp, so we're going to use that. There. And add it to the inside of this card. This sample card. Okay. That's all the stamping we've done for this one. Flirty Flamingo ink pad to color coordinate with the Flirty Flamingo cardstock and pattern paper. Your kit will also feature a length of this ribbon. It's the striped iridescent lace ribbon and some of this gray baker's twine. I'm going to use directly from my roll so I don't waste any. So let's just get started assembling here. I always bone fold down that score mark because then the card base will lay a little easier for assembling. Inside, we've got a few hearts, and you've got, I think, 5 stars, 3 stars that were cut out with the ball, and then the 2 larger stars. It doesn't really matter. You might be able to tell which are which, but I put the larger ones inside along with the heart. So, oops, let's try not to lose that onto the floor. My workstation ends right there. Okay. There's that. Okay, on the front. Look your pattern paper over. Oh, opposite side. Do we want to try an opposite side? So you can see which ones you like. Oh, I actually like the darker tones. So I am going to, I like the darker tones of that spiral, not spiral, circular basket, because I have that darker collar. Okay, and just eyeballing top to bottom, left to right. All right, let's attach all these pieces, because the collar takes a little finagling. Okay, now I'm going to preempt. The mouse tail is very narrow, thin. If it got damaged in a shipment, I'm sorry about that. I probably won't be able to ship you another one because of the cost. If you've got one with a crinkly tail, just go with it. Maybe it got played with the mouse too hard, or with the cat too hard. Can be your story. Okay, salmon. And again, the small little dots of glue for the stars. Then I think we're done with the liquid glue. Okay, now, oh shoot, and I got so excited. What I was going to do with the ribbon color coordinates, but there's nowhere really good to put it. How about up there? Let's do that up there. And since it's so sheer, I would recommend tear and tape. I just like using a lot of texture in my cards. And if I have color coordinating ribbon, that'd be great. Okay, there's that. Okay, now the collar was cut from the Halloween pattern paper from the Halloween pack that was available. It's available through the last chance list right now. Actually, the pack that had the die cuts in it, specialty pack. So if you bought the Halloween pack but didn't use it all up, go back and look and see if there's, you can use them for non-Halloween things, is my point. Okay, so I bent it not on the score lines because I want a little more paper to work on. You can bend it back on the score lines if you want. I did a little bit above the score lines. All right, now's the tricky part, because these glue dots are so super sticky. You have to remove the glue dot with the paper, otherwise it'll just pull the paper off the thing you're trying to glue dot on. So give it a good press and then pull up. Okay. Now take your collar. I've got the buckle to the left, and I'm just tucking it underneath the bottom on the collar and just wrapping it over on itself. May or may not touch the collar. It'll catch it on one side for sure, depending on how you have it wrapped around. And then I'm going to use some tear and tape and secure that collar down. Not the collar, secure the tab down. And one good thing about tear and tape, got this a little long over here, is if you don't press it down, let's pull it up on this side, you can kind of meld it to where you need it. Okay, now flip that over. Grab your tag, put your ribbon through your tag, not your ribbon, your linen thread. And we are going to just use that tear and tape to secure the ends on either side. And then cut off. Now you can make a knot if you want instead. That's fine too. There. Okay, and then that just gets attached to your card front, anchored on your ribbon. Yeah, I like that. It dresses up the front a little bit. Wonder if I can pull that up a little bit and add some ribbon on top. I probably can. All right, now these are the iridescent faceted gems. And you've got two sizes on your strip. Doing one big one on either end of the collar, because we have a princess here. And then the smaller one over the salmon. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed making your kit with me. And check your email. There'll be an idea file. It's not simple specialty samples in this technique. Although if we do it in the upcoming year, I certainly will share it with you. I just came across this, just thought about doing something like this to showcase the pattern paper. And actually, I'll share you my inspiration card. Here's the one I made for the April Inspiring Pretty Paper Projects PDF. So I made that one first. I thought, I could probably do this for Kits in the Mail. And from that came these two cards. All right, so I hope you had a great time stamping with me. Hey, I was going to share the wood grain paper. Like I said, it's brand new. It is 12 by 12 inch, item number 167428. And there's 12 total sheets, but it's patterned printed a little differently. So you can see these are 6 prints of the same pattern on one side, but if you flip it over, 3 of them have got a lighter grain, still tan, and a darker grain. This is the grain that I used on one of the collars. And then this one over here, again, I've used one of these for your kits, but if you flip them over, we've got that lighter grain and the 2 tones of the grain. So it's really confusing. I'm like, what? Did they print it wrong? Nope. So again, 6 sheets of the same grain, but if you flip them over, there'll be different grains. If that makes any sense. Hope that helps. Bye. And let me know if you have any Stampin' Up questions, and we'll stamp with you soon.